Greetings to all my imaginary friends. Today, I'm taking a request. I'm going to do a recall rewatch on Spaceballs. Spaceballs came out 1990, I think.
Strike?
Spaceballs was a movie done by Mel Brooks, and it stars Rick Moranis, Bill Pullman, John Candy, Daphne Zungina.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the lovely Daphne Zuniga.
And Joan Rivers has a cameo in there. Mel Brooks himself also stars in the movie. I think there's a cameo by Kevin Winslow. Spaceballs is a parody of Star Wars. Daphne is a Druish princess who's about to be married and doesn't want to be. And she escapes on Bill Pullman's Winnebago. His name is Lone Star. And John Candy plays Mog. Part man, part dog. He's his own best friend. I remember this movie very well. I think they run out of gas.
Perfect.
And so they're forced to crash land on a desert planet, not unlike Tatooine. Bill Pullman's character is running from Pizza the Hut. Bill Pullman discovers he has some kind of history. He's got a ring, and they don't call it the Force, they call it the Schwartz. Mel Brooks plays like a Yoda character. They kind of combine multiple Star Wars movies into one. Eventually, Bill Pullman is faced off against Rick Moranis, who plays Dark Helmet, the Darth Vader character, and Mel Brooks stars again as the Emperor type character. He's Scroob, I think Governor Scroob. There's a maid, Mega Maid. I think their ship turns into a maid with a vacuum cleaner. She's gone from suck to glow.
That's what she said.
And there's a combination. Combinations 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the combination to... Oh, the dad from 8 is Enough plays the Druish king? The leader of the Druids. Druze. I think eventually they're thwarted by Bill Pullman's character. Seen this movie a million times. Haven't seen it in several years. So I'm going to give it a rewatch. I'll let you know what I think. Spaceballs, 1987. A Mel Brooks joint. So there was this movie from the early 80s, maybe late 70s, called The Black Hole. It was a movie about this group of people who went on this ship, and it was on the edge of this black hole. It was a Disney movie. Had these cool robots. I loved this movie when I was a kid. I think my brother even had some of the action figures from this movie. And years later, as an adult, I finally got a chance to rewatch it, much like I do in the series. And it's absolutely horrible. It's B-movie bad. And it totally wrecked my childhood view of that movie. That pretty much sums up my experience with Spaceballs. This movie is horrible, and I'm so depressed. I loved Spaceballs when I was a kid, and maybe that's why I liked it so much. Because I was as young and juvenile as the humor in this movie.
Bob.
Spaceballs stars Bill Pullman, John Candy, Daphne I still don't know her name. Zuniga, Joan Rivers, and it does have a cameo by Dick Van Patten as King Roland, King of the Druids. I meant no offense. In the first half of my video, I wasn't sure if it was King of the Druze, Druish. I figure it's Mel Brooks making fun of Jews, so... There were a few things I still liked when I rewatched the movie. I'll give you a smattering of them here.
Well, you don't need that, Private. We're right here. Now, what is it?
My brains are going into my feet. I could have carried 2 or 3 of these. What about you guys? We ain't found shit.
A couple little things that I questioned. I know it's a comedy, but having them climb into space without spacesuits or any kind of protection was kind of dumb. It looks like Bill Pullman has his eyes open here during this kiss, which is weird. And I still don't understand what has gone to plaid means. I didn't get it when I was a kid. Man, I don't get it as an adult. And I looked up on the internet, and I don't think it has any real meaning. So I'm not sure why that's supposed to be funny. There were some things I really in particular hated as I rewatched this movie. The models were terrible. And it's weird because you go back to 1977 and you look at Star Wars A New Hope, and those models in space still look good today. And the models here look so terrible. I'd be curious to know the technical reasons for that. It bothered me that Louis Tully didn't just spit the coffee right back into his cup here. Like if you had something hot, you spit it back into the cup. This fake yawn bothered me when I was a kid, and it still bothers me as an adult. And Joan Rivers' dialogue is terrible. I've never thought much of Joan Rivers.
Like, I don't know, Joan. I just like potato chips.
And maybe this movie's the reason why, because I know actors and actresses don't get to pick their dialogue.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
But all of her lines are clunkers.
I wonder if she's glad. It's either the 4th of July or someone's trying to kill us. Not in here, mister. This is a Mercedes. But sure ain't Temple Beth Israel. Hey, that was pretty good for Rambo.
When I started reviewing these movies, the intent was I thought it would be amusing to see what I could remember and what I couldn't remember. I did not expect to be so disappointed by how poorly these movies have aged. I did question whether maybe it's me.
Starting with the man in the mirror.
Maybe this movie is still funny and I just don't get it anymore because I'm old. But after I watched this, I went and I watched Airplane, and Airplane is still terrific. And that's what this movie, Spaceballs, wants to be Airplane, and it's not. And here's a great example of how Spaceballs does it.
Tell them to comb the desert, you hear me? Comb the desert!
And how Airplane does it.
Captain, how soon can you land?
I can't tell.
You can tell me, I'm a doctor.
No, I mean, I'm just not sure.
Or can't you take a guess?
Well, not for another 2 hours.
You can't take a guess for another 2 hours?
And that part from Spaceballs sets up one of the funniest lines in the movie. But it's so in your face, and it's not subtle or clever. So if you're looking for clever pun-type humor, I'd go with Airplane. Maybe History of the World Part 1 or Blazing Saddles. I'm afraid to watch them now, because maybe those are terrible too, I don't know.
Yeah, but I shoot with this hand.
Final verdict?